Hi guys, so this video is going to be about uh, the liberalist concept and what is the nature of the state under liberalism. Alright, so the concept of liberalism is based on the idea of liberal. The word liberal means free, freedom. Alright, so when we look at the origin of this concept, initially this came into existence in the beginning of the nation state. So when we look at nation state, that you guys know, before nation state what existed was the feudalist state, right? So feudalist state wasn't a very good time. It is called the dark ages of Europe for a reason, right? Like all these monarchs and aristocrats and the church and everyone were like suppressing the rights of people. Okay, so because of that, by the time of the beginning of the nation state, people were sick of the feudalist state crushing their rights, getting involved in their rights. So after centuries and centuries of suppression, they came to a point to say that, you know what, finally we have nation state and we need a version of the state that doesn't get involved in anything, and that we get to live our lives without state getting involved in it in any way. All right, so this means that the initial liberal concept said that the state should stay away from everything. And then people were thinking that what the state should do. Basically, the liberalists said state should be doing one thing, which is protecting law and order. They said that's the reason we have a state. We have a state to protect our law and order and ensure that we are safe in the society. Other than that, state should not be doing anything. Now, I can give you all a very a relatable example. Now, imagine if there's a child who has been sort of like who has lived a really long time under like abusive parents, and finally that he gets to change his parents. And if the parents ask like what should be doing, that because that you've been abused and you've been controlled so much, you'll be like, no, I don't want you to be doing anything and getting involved in my life. Just make sure that I'm safe. Just give me law and order, protection, that's enough, and let me live the way I want. It was something like that. People were sick of being controlled by the state during the feudalist years, and they came to a point, you know what, state should not get involved in anything other than protecting law and order. So that's what the classic liberalists originally said, right? So liberalism came to the spotlight with a fellow economic theory, that was capitalism, right? The fact that everything should be dependent on money. So capitalism also came into existence alongside liberalism. Basically, capitalism is the economic face of liberalism. And the economist Adam Smith wrote a book called Wealth of Nations, where he suggested the idea that, you know what, state should not be controlling the market, the prices and all those things. They should be automatically decided. He said that the market should be controlled with an invisible hand. An invisible hand should control the market, and the state should not be getting involved in controlling the market. And the other liberalists took that one step forward, saying not only controlling the market, state should not be getting involved in anything, literally anything. That they should simply be protecting law and order, right? So this idea was known as laissez-faire state, where state not doing anything else other than protecting law and order. So, and during this time we say that the state was a police state, like it was like a policeman. Why do you say that? Now if there's a person starving without food on the street, a policeman's job is not to feed him. I mean, like, out of humanity the policeman might go and feed him, that's a different story, but that's not his job. right? His job is not to see whether the person is fed. His job is to see whether the person's protection is in question. If someone comes and tries to harm that person, then the policeman come and will save that person. Not when the person is starving, because feeding the person is not his job. So the state was like that. People suffering from poverty or whatnot, it wasn't state's concern. Basically, their concern was just protecting law and order. And not surprisingly, this system created a huge gap between the rich and the poor, because the rich people were getting richer and richer, poor people were getting poorer and poorer. And when poor people were getting into a shortage of food, health, education, housing and all that, there was no one to take care of them, because state wasn't really ratting an eye on them. If you all have read the book Oliver Twist, and that's actually an explanation of what sort of hardship poor people had to go through during classic liberalism, because the state was not doing anything other than protecting law and order. So by the mid 20th century, there were a lot of social issues that were happening, because the state was just protecting law and order and the poor people were suffering, and there were so many social issues. Okay, right. Then by the mid 20th century, the world was hit by 2 world wars, and needless to say, since it was like a pair of world wars, it was very destructive. And after the war, when you look at the war affected countries, they were okay, recovering these countries is a huge process, and apparently no one is capable of doing such a thing. And they realized the only capable entity of rebuilding these war affected areas is the state. So they realized that perhaps state should just do something else other than just protecting law and order. That's one reason. Other than that, as I told you, as Oliver Twist's book shows, there were plenty of social issues that were developing, and state had to do something, and classic liberalism was being criticized for creating such social issues. And also there was another reason, which was the fact that liberalism had a competitor, which was communism, that was coming into life in the other end of the world, in the Soviet Union. After the Russian Revolution, Soviet Union became one of the most powerful countries in the world, which embraced communism. And when you hear communism, when they talk about an absolute equality where everyone gets an equal share of profit, these people who were suffering from classic liberalism, the poor people who were not getting the support from anyone, when they heard the idea that communism gives an equal share of profit to everyone, they thought, that actually sounds good. So liberalism started having a competitor, whereas the liberalists had to sort of change their face. That's when they shifted from classic liberalism to modern liberalism. So the laissez-faire state became welfare state. Now you guys need to understand the fact that when you say classic liberalism turned to modern liberalism, the basic idea of liberalism did not change at all. The basic idea was that the state doesn't get involved in controlling the market, and the invisible hand has to control the prices, market prices and all that, and you should prioritize the individual autonomy, that individual's betterment is prioritized. None of that changed. So what actually did change under modern liberalism? The fact that the state was not taking care of the poor people in the society. That's what changed, right? Because under the previous classic liberal idea, the state didn't really take care of people, and that's what changed under this system. Whereas they said, fine, we will still let the invisible hand control everything, individual will be given freedom and all that, but unlike classic liberalism, we are not going to forget the poor people in the society. So we are going to provide them welfare services, right? So they turned the policeman into an agent of welfare. Now what does welfare mean? Welfare means giving access to basic life standards to the lower layers of the society. Now under classic liberalism, what happened was, rich people, You all can afford healthcare. You can go to hospitals and afford healthcare. Poor people, you all can't. Sorry, not our job. We are just here to protect law and order. Rich people, you all can go to schools and afford education. Poor people, you all can't. Sorry, can't help. Don't have education. Not our job. So this was the idea. It was changed under modern liberalism. They said, okay, fine. So rich people can afford to go to hospitals. Poor people can't. Fine. We will build a hospital on the expense of the state, and the poor people can come to the hospital and get the health care that they need. Only rich people can go to schools and poor people can't afford education. Fine, we will build schools at the expense of the state, and the poor people can come and learn for free. That's the idea of welfare state. Now there was a small problem. Although this idea is really good, you need to understand that this idea is going to be very expensive, right? So you need to provide education and healthcare and all these things to a huge number of people, which is going to cost a lot of money. Now back then state didn't have that many expenses. Why? Because they only had to protect law and order, which means they only had to sustain the police and the forces and the courthouses, the judiciary. That's it. But now that they have to provide free education, now that they have to provide free education, free healthcare, right, free transport, basically they have to look into any matter the poor people are going through. This is going to be extremely costly, like 100 times costlier than the classic liberal state. Now how to find money? Now the state was using this mechanism called taxation back then under classic liberalism, because they wanted to sustain the police and all that. So what they did was, you have like the 10% of the rich people. If you are a rich person, you are supposed to pay a small sum of money to the state. That is called taxation, right? So back then this light taxation was enough, because you only had to sustain police and all that. But now that in order to provide welfare services, this is not enough by any means. That's not even close. So they had to find a way to generate more funds. Then they came up with this idea, why don't we get involved in the market competition, start some businesses and make profit, right? Now don't confuse this part, because liberalism says they are not trying to control the market. Okay, so they are still not controlling the market. They are just getting involved in the market competition. In simplest words, classic liberalism said that, the referee of the market should be an invisible hand, the decision maker. The state should not be the referee. So the modern liberalism agreed, and they said, state is not going to be the referee, state is going to be a competitor in the race. Just like these private sector people compete in the market, state will also become a competitor. State will start businesses. And what happens after that? The state businesses can generate profit. And just like private businesses, when they make profit, they use those profit to make more profit by reinvesting the profit they make. State can use that profit to provide welfare services. The idea is, okay, state will start some businesses in the market, and once those businesses make profit, you use that profit to provide welfare services, which sounded really good on paper, but that was a failure. Why did that fail? It was because the market competition was very tough. The government ran businesses, the state owned businesses were no match to the private sector business. I'll give you a small example. In Sri Lanka, you have Cargill's Food City, Keel Super, Apico, Laughs as private sector supermarkets, and you have Satosa, which is a government owned, like the state owned supermarket. Now we can see the gap of profit they are making as businesses. State owned businesses started running at a loss, which created an additional burden to the state. Now that not only you have to provide welfare services to a huge number of people, now you have to sustain these businesses which are running at a loss, which is an additional expense now. Understand? So not only you have to provide welfare services now, which is an expense, these government businesses are running at a loss, which means they are costing more money than the money that they are earning. So the states went into a budget deficit. They are spending more money than they are earning. The businesses that were supposed to earn money are costing money now. So as a result, in order to keep this up, they had to expand taxation. Now back then they only kept the taxation towards rich people. Only rich people were taxed. Now that the expenses are too high, they expand the taxation to the normal people also. Now they are taxing the middle class people as well as poor people, right? So that's why in a country like Sri Lanka, these prices are all high, that all of us are paying taxes. And that money was not enough. Then what did the state started doing? They started taking loans from other countries. So the countries went into debt. People had to pay taxes, and the life became difficult. And modern liberalism ended up becoming a failure. So a few decades passed by like this. Whereas in 1970s, they decided to change the face again, the face of liberalism again, because now first of all the modern liberalism was a failure, so they had to update that. And secondly, on the other end of the world, communism had suffered their own failure. Communism did not live up to what it appeared to be at one point. So liberalism did not have the communist threat anymore. So they don't have a competitor anymore now, which means now it was like safer to change their approach. Okay. So by like 1970s, they started changing the face of liberalism again, this time to neoliberalism. So under neoliberalism, they introduced the idea of minimal state. So it's not like going full on state like modern liberalism, neither it's going like no state at all under classic liberalism. So it's not laissez-faire, it's not welfare, it's minimal state. Okay. This also means that, give me a second guys. Hi. This basically meant that state was not a welfare agent anymore, and the state was not a policeman anymore. It was placing the state somewhere in between. Okay. That means that state was a management position. Right? State is not gonna stay away from doing anything. Neither state's gonna do everything. State is going to just manage. That's why I call minimal state. That means minimum involvement, only when it's necessary. Okay. And by the time the minimal state and the neoliberalism thing came, the first two people to embrace this idea was the American president, who were the first two people to embrace this idea. Now, one was the American president Ronald Reagan, and the other one was the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Then by the time neoliberalism started off, they realized that the state had two issues. Okay. One was the fact that there are so many government run state-owned businesses that are running at a loss. That was one. Secondly, the state was failing to provide the welfare services that they were supposed to provide. Okay. So the state decided to outsource these two jobs that they were sort of failing to do. So they had to find two friends to do this. So who were the two friends that they contacted? One was NGOs, non-governmental organizations. Now that the state was struggling to provide the welfare services, they decided to outsource the welfare services to non-governmental organizations. That's number one. Secondly, they decided to outsource the government businesses that were suffering at a loss to the private sector, which means that you give the loss suffering state businesses to the private sector, private entrepreneurs. Why don't you take this business, make some profit, and we'll share it half, right? So basically you outsource the welfare activities to NGOs, and you outsource the loss suffering businesses to the private sector, and you make some profit, and that way the state just stays away after outsourcing those two jobs, and they get involved only when it's necessary, right? That's called minimal state. And even in Sri Lanka, we've had political parties and leaders, especially most notably former Prime Minister and former opposition leader Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe was a huge fan of the neoliberal concept, as most of his policies are similar to the neoliberal concept. So that's about neoliberalism, and that's about the concept of liberalism, guys.